Hello guys, today I have unique opportunity to ask my friend Justin about his question. We at really nice place, Baki Resort. It's a dive resort, where you can dive in Darwin, Negros Oriental in the Philippines.
Welcome to Baki. They just reopened, and I'm opening the dive shop. It should be open this week, so you're the first.
Yeah, just try it. But it's a really nice place, near ocean. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool. I love it. The main sanctuary is right here. We could dive right out front.
Yeah.
We got the training pool.
Coral reef.
I found the perfect location. So
yeah, it's really interesting. How many dives do you have?
Oh, well, I stopped counting or keeping track after about 2000. You know, when I first got certified, you have these little books, and I went through like 50 books where you write down each dive, what you saw. It's called a logbook. And then after that, you have your dive computers that count your dives, keep track. But I went through so many dive computers over the years. Basically, I just quit counting. So my guess is 3,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
When is scuba diving contrained for a person?
Pretty much anybody can learn diving. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
I'm sure there is an age limit, but everybody is in different health. So if you're over age 45, we highly recommend. We have a doctor that'll, give you a checkup, blood pressure, heart stuff. But we have, for example, we have a group of 12 this week. All doing their open water certification, and they're all over 50 or 60 years old. So on the other end of the spectrum, I have an apprentice that's 12 years old. I think you could do your open water at, don't quote me, but I think it's 8 or 10. You can start diving. Pretty much anybody can dive.
Okay. Justin, what should you do if you have underwater panic attack?
Panic attack.
Panic attack.
Well, I tell you one thing. The one thing you can't do is go to the surface immediately. That's your first instinct, is to shoot to the surface if you get bit by a turtle or something or whatever. But that's the worst thing you could do. So you'll see all the training from day one beginner is how to deal with anything and stay down. When you're under pressure, you need the gases to stay inside of you, your pores, all that. But if you shoot to the surface because of a panic attack, and you get to here where it's ambient atmosphere, no pressure, it comes out too fast, you'll get the bends basically. So
okay, what should you do if you don't see your ship after surfacing?
Stick with your buddy, try to signal. Usually you have a whistle, a surface marker, do whatever you can. If it gets too bad, you're gonna have to drop your weights, maybe drop your tank, inflate your BCD. All this is, it'll get covered in pretty much every level of your training.
Okay.
So
everything to survive, yeah?
Yeah.
What the best countries for scuba diving? Maybe top 5, top 3?
That is a loaded question. I asked all the time. I'm gonna say Philippines. It depends on what you like to do, but obviously I could be anywhere in the world and I'm here, and that's for a reason. I'm an underwater photographer, videographer. I don't just. Everybody likes different things, but I like marine biology. I like the species and the biodiversity. You've heard of the coral triangle?
Yep.
It's basically the epicenter of healthy marine biodiversity on the planet. And I think Philippines is the center of that.
Okay.
So if you want healthy corals and unlimited species, come to Philippines. If you want shipwrecks, really clear water, big sharks, stuff like that, you got Egypt, Red Sea, you got Mexico. I don't love the Caribbean because of the biodiversity. Nowhere compares to here or Indonesia or Malaysia for healthy reef and fish, but Mexico has big sharks on both Pacific and Caribbean side. There's just so many places around the world. Just Australia is good. Just depends on what you like to see.
Okay. Yeah, I know you visited 89 countries, yeah?
I've been to 89 countries, but of course I didn't dive
Yeah, of course.
most of them. I've only dove a dozen or two.
But you have a lot of experience and you have what
Even the ones I haven't dove, because I was a travel writer, I know about them because I've done so much research. All my colleagues are in the same industry, so I know even the places I haven't been to. So,
which underwater creatures you should avoid? Maybe poison, maybe dangerous sharks?
Zero. I would say zero.
Okay.
This group I have next week, they're worried about sharks and snakes.
About sharks and snakes.
And I think it's dumb. I think, not dumb, but I think the community here, the community, the experienced divers, we wish we could see sharks every day. If I had to choose something that I hate, you're not gonna believe me, okay? But have you ever seen Finding Nemo?
Small fish?
Yeah. I'm not kidding. Alright, I go film these anemones. Anemone is like where clownfish live, and they're beautiful. But I've had it on camera, or my wife filmed me, and these little clownfish are mean little bastards. Okay, they'll come out and bite me. Yeah, they make a noise underwater. It's like I don't know. They do it with, I don't know how they do it, but like trying to scare you away, like making a loud snapping noise, and then they bite me. I've never been bitten by any fish more than a clownfish, and a few other little ones like that, like dory, whatever those are called. They're mean. So you want to film a beautiful thing, almost guaranteed they're gonna chase you away. These little things, they'll come up and bite my mask, they'll bite. Like I've been filming and my wife's watching me, and one came and bit me on the forehead, and she laughed so hard she almost lost her regulator.
What was your deepest scuba dive?
40 meters.
What are top 5 mistakes of beginners?
You got bad teachers, not students. So it's not, everybody's gonna make a mistake. Everybody has the problems with the mask clearing on their even week 1, where you fill your mask with water, or you simulate losing your mask underwater. Because like I told you before, you can't shoot to the surface. You have to fix your problems. Even if your tank explodes, you got to fix your problems underwater. And that's the hardest thing for a new diver, is taking your mask off, not being able to see and all that. So it's not really a mistake though. Okay. So I guess the biggest mistake would be letting your mind freak you out about sharks or claustrophobia, anything like that.
Okay, what was your most dangerous underwater story?
I don't want to freak people out, but one time I was in Belize spearfishing. I was filming. We were basically spearfishing lionfish, which is an invasive species, and we went real deep on the Great Barrier in Belize. And somehow my group separated. Like there's a guy carrying a bucket for when people speared a fish, he would take it, and somehow my buddy disappeared and everybody disappeared, and right then my tank exploded. So the seal, the O-ring on my regulator, between the regulator and the tank, completely failed, and I had a free flow. And the problem was I was at 30 something meters, so you can't go to the surface. But if I don't sort it out quick, I'm gonna run out of air at 40 or 30 meters. So, and you can't go to the surface fast. You still have to do the safety stops. So what I had to do, because I can't reach my valve, I had to take off my gear, put it between my legs and ride it like a bike. It was really difficult because I had a big spear gun, my big camera, everything on top of my gear, and I was riding it like a wakeboard or something. And I had to turn off the air and then start ascending to my safety stop, and then every time I need to breathe, and by the way, I'm letting out the air in my lungs so that my lungs don't expand as I come up to lower pressures. But every time I need to breathe, I would have to stop, open the tank and breathe. There's like a huge jet of air going to the surface. I would have to breathe like kind of like a reverse water fountain, you know, and then shut off my air so I don't lose it, and then keep going. And I had to do that for another about 15 minutes to get to the surface. So they found me, my group caught up with me at the end of my safety stop when I was going to the surface anyway. And they're like, what the hell are you doing?
It's like infinity, underwater.
It was infinity because I'm watching my gauge. Like this is not going good. And but I think if it, by then I was a solo diver and dive master, lots of dives, probably 1,000 at least. And I think if it could have been really bad for somebody, so that entire scenario would have been avoided if my dive buddy was there. So don't dive alone.
Okay.
If you can.
Yeah, we just come to this question. What are 3 things you should never do underwater during diving?
I would say always be with somebody, because there's catastrophic failures that can happen. That's not your fault, no matter how experienced you are. Like that, where I would have to turn off my tank, but I could easily breathe out of his alternate air source, and we can go to the surface breathing fine. Not dangerous. That's all training. But second, or not second, but let's see. I would definitely pay attention to your dive computer, your dive tables, because I know a lot of here in Philippines, you hear it in the news every day, somebody dying. It's these local spearfishermen. They'll just go borrow tanks or gear and just go spearfishing, and they don't have dive computers to tell them what depths they can be at and all that, and they'll go down to 40, 50, 60 meters spearing and just stay there until they don't run out of air. They get decompression sickness and have blackouts, or when they get to they don't even know about surface intervals or safety stops, and they get the bends and die. So that's the biggest thing, is pay attention to your dive tables and dive your limit, dive your training.
What can you do to protect your ears from infection during diving?
So let's say this is your eardrum inside your ear. Inside your ear right now there's a little bit of pressure, but it's the same pressure outside.
Yeah.
But if we go underwater 5 meters, 3 meters, the pressure on the inside is the same, but the pressure on the outside is now pushing. Yeah. So your ear has a little bit of pain from your eardrum being pushed. So we develop a handful of techniques where I can close my sinuses, my mouth and my nose, and blow, and it'll just increase the air inside my ear, on the inner ear, to make it even, just to make it even with the outside, which is not much. So it's just a tiny bit that will equalize.
Okay, what should you do before and after diving?
After diving, I would definitely clean your ears, because you're out.
I mean, in general.
Yeah, but that's one of the first things I would do, is rinse out your ears with clean water, because you're diving the ocean or lakes or some no good. People get infections. I get infections all the time. So clean out your ears, and then take care of your dive equipment. Make sure all your dive equipment is well maintained, so there's never any problems out of your reach. And then before the dive, you and your buddy do dive checks, talk about your dive profile, how deep you're gonna go, how long, what you're looking for, stuff like that. What happens if somebody gets separated, lost, because we do a lot of night dives or whatever. So
okay, how about food? Should you eat before, or?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I try not to have coffee right before, because I might get acid reflux or something. Yeah. But no, it don't matter. It's a myth. Cramping usually happens if you don't have enough water. So I actually try. It's nice if you have a banana and a lot. I'll drink an entire water before a dive, and then I don't get cramps. So. Okay,
what was your funniest underwater story?
Funnest?
Yeah.
Or funny?
Funny, funnest.
Oh man, funnest. I don't know about funny. Well, I've had a few times where I'll be diving in Indonesia one time or wherever, and I'm filming my friend, or they're trying to do a photo, so I'm taking a photo, and a turtle, one time, a huge turtle like the size of this table, flew down and smacked my friend in the back of the head. And he's a new diver, he's scared of sharks and thinking like sharks, and he got so scared, he was like, freaking out, and it was just one jealous turtle. Because we were earlier filming a small turtle. We were filming everything, but this turtle, we were filming the small turtle, it smacked that baby turtle as well. So, and then he went to the surface to get air, and I was taking a photo of my friend. He came back down and smacked my friend on the side of the head. It was the funniest thing, because he could go anywhere in the ocean to come back down.
Yeah.
So that was pretty hilarious.
Okay, what is the most difficult part of scuba diving?
Difficult? There's
Yeah.
nothing difficult about it except for the money.
Okay.
The most difficult is money. Travel if you don't live in a good spot for diving. I'm from Colorado, so I know.
Yeah. I'm from Moscow.
Yeah, and you're Moscow. So there's really nothing, man. Once you are comfortable underwater, you're breathing good, so your tank doesn't go fast. You're just super relaxed, and then all of a sudden you're noticing little critters and creatures everywhere, and it's like living in or swimming in an aquarium.
Yeah.
It's second nature. There's
Okay.
nothing hard.
In what cases do you need to seek help? From your partner?
You always
or
need to seek
instructor?
help if you don't feel right, because decompression sickness, the bends, it's a serious thing. So if you get out of the water and you're feeling sluggish, headache is a big indicator. Anything like that, maybe your joints are hurting. Depending on how bad it is, you need to extend your surface interval between dives, or even call it off. Tell your buddy, I'm sorry, man, I'm just not feeling good. Before the dive, if you're having sinus problems, because I told you need to clear your ears and equalize your eardrums.
Yeah.
If you have sinus blockage or like a cold, you can't do that. So you can really damage your eardrum. So don't even go.
Okay, you answer on my another question.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't dive sick, because you can't. If you can't equalize, you can't really dive, and you could do some permanent damage to your ears.
How to find a good scuba diving instructor?
These days, well, there is a lot of scammers, tell you the truth. But you go to any reputable dive shop or resort, they all have PADI, SSI, SDI, NAUI instructors, and there's more. There's RAID, whatever. They are all internationally. It doesn't really matter who you get certified through, what agency, and these resorts will have instructors for all those. So here at Backy, I'm a SDI ambassador, so most of our people get SDI certified, but we have PADI instructors and everything. So just nobody is going to hire a bad instructor if if it's a reputable place.
Okay, what do you like most about scuba diving?
The marine biology for me. I know it's different for everybody else. I got guys that just want to relax and it's so peaceful underwater, but for me, searching every day for little critters, different species. I have a book, I have my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man, just filming every day, it's just such a rush, like there's other things like traveling the world. You've seen it, but like if you go to the Serengeti, you've seen the big five or even more. You've seen it all after a while. You're not going to go there 3,000 times, but in the ocean 3,000 times, I still see something new almost every day. It's impossible anywhere else. I love it.
Yeah, cool. Justin, how to protect glasses underwater from fogging?
Mask?
Yeah, mask from fogging.
Well, when you first buy the mask, they're covered in a protective like silicone layer, and we burn it off, and you have to do that a lot. And then we treat it, sometimes toothpaste and something with grit or sand or something, just scrape it up. But every time you go out diving or swimming even, you don't want fog. That's the hardest. That's a big problem. We have like little gels and stuff, anti-fog that you put on there. And I put it on there maybe 10 minutes before the dive, let it set, and then when I get in the water, I'll clean it out right before. And I don't have fog on a dive.
Okay, cool. How much does it cost to make your first dive in open water?
Philippines is one of the cheapest places in the world. I haven't seen a cheaper one. Maybe Egypt was cheap, but here the open water certificate, basically the very beginner certificate you have to do, is it's about $250 to $300, almost $300. My friend did it in Australia. It was $900 US, maybe $600, I don't know. So more or less 300 in Philippines.
Okay, that's good. What should you buy first if you want to become a diver?
The first thing I would buy, you could rent everything.
Yeah, sure.
But the first thing I would buy, your own personal gear, is a mask. because I don't like renting masks around the world. You don't know if they fit, or they're foggy, or the band is gonna break or something and fall off. I like how, and it doesn't weigh anything. It's not hard to travel the world with a mask. So on top of that, I like having a dive computer. It's more expensive, but it's expensive to rent one as well.
Okay, from how much it will cost to rent it and to buy it from? I mean,
dive
average.
computer?
Yeah, dive computer. From to?
Minimum $500 to buy.
Okay.
And then 25,000 pesos. But they get up to over $1,000 for a nice one. Depends on how much you dive.
Yeah.
You don't need $1,000 computer if you're diving once a year. Renting, I don't know, $40 or $50 a day, depending on what country you're in.
Yeah. So if you want to dive, maybe 3-5 times a month,
10 days a month, or 10 days a year, you pay it off.
Yeah, it's better to buy. Okay. Do you think is it better to dive day or night?
For me, I love night dives because there's so many different species that come out only at night. A lot of people, all the resorts, they like going during the day, and that's just a tradition. But for underwater photographers, videographers, marine biologists, we have to go at night. There's just different species that less people see. But take me day and night, I don't care. I'll go. I'll go.
Okay. What happens if you run out of air, and what you should do?
You basically just die, and we call your mom, and she comes to get you.
Okay.
No, you're not going to run out of air. That's the last problem anybody ever has. Especially new divers, they're always staring at their gauge and they're scared they're going to run out of air. I don't think I've ever seen anybody run out of air. Just pay attention. Especially as a new diver, your dive master will say, let me know when you have 50 bar or 100 bar, whatever it is. If you're on a big loop, let me know when you're half a tank, 50 bar. And we'll start heading back, and definitely let me know when you're at 50 bar. We'll probably be out of the water at 70 bar. So your dive master, guide, or whoever's going to keep track, but you'll learn how to keep track yourself, and you'll be out with enough time for a safety stop and everything.
I got you. But what was your lowest pressure? Air pressure.
I don't get low. No? I have enough time underwater. I don't need to run it down.
Okay.
So it's not safe. Get out of the water with 50 or 70 bar left. You'll see.
Okay. How long will be first dive?
Oh, that also depends, because on a 12-liter tank I can go 2 hours. If you go real deep, I can go a little over an hour. New divers, they're nervous, they're kicking too much, they're swimming fast, they're chasing fish, they're breathing hard because they're nervous. I would say minimum 40 minutes on a tank.
Okay.
So once you learn how to relax and breathe and just be super calm and don't use a lot of your oxygen cells in your muscles, you can go a long time. Usually my battery on my camera dies before my air runs out.
And what was your longest dive?
2 hours probably, maybe a little more.
With one tank or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's with one tank, super shallow, just filming at like 4 meters, 5 meters, or whatever it was. So, the deeper you go, the more air you use and all that. So.
How deep is a beginner dive?
The open water course, you'll be qualified for 18 meters. So we'll start you off in the pool. Then when you'll do the same skills in the ocean at like 3 or 4 meters, and then once you're comfortable there, you go a little deeper. Eventually, in that 3-day course, you'll be good for 18 meters.
Oh, cool. Can you wear glasses under mask?
Yeah, I wear contacts underwater. People wear glasses if it's comfortable, but you could also buy prescription masks. So there's something for everybody.
There is a lot of decisions, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have to be good at swimming to
I was just talking to a guy like that. He's like, I don't know how to swim, so I don't want to get certified. I'm like, honestly, I'd rather have somebody that I could train, or we could train from ground zero, where you're starting from nothing. because I've had divers, they're learning how to dive, but they're really good swimmers before, or like racers or whatever, and they're always like, I'm like, dude, you need to relax. You're swimming faster than the dive master's the guide. You're way out there. Then you have to come back, and then like you're just going, kicking, and it's kind of like walking compared to running. You're using a lot more air. You're like breathing hard if you're trying too hard. So no, diving is not swimming. Diving is trying to relax, just doing slow, even fin kicks to push the water. Not using your hands at all, just relaxing, or if you have a camera, not moving at all. The only thing moving is your head and the back half of your legs, on your knees down below your knees. Just efficient movement as possible, and you use much less oxygen or air, and you last longer. So I don't need an Olympic swimmer. I think a brand new swimmer would be easier to train than a competitive swimmer.
Okay.
Because you have to calm them down. You have to say stop swimming.
Yeah, I got you. I want to ask, is it possible to use air plumps? Yeah. Air plugs.
No.
No. It's not allowed.
No, because you're gonna mess with the pressure.
Oh.
You need the pressure on both sides. So they have some special ear covers maybe, but that still lets the air in, or the water I mean. But I don't mess with that stuff because it's better just to be underwater and equalize and have the same pressure on both sides of your eardrum. So it's not really a solution like you think it would be.
Okay. What are the most common injuries, sickness associated with scuba diving?
Injuries and sickness is different, because injuries you can maybe a big current or a surge hit you and you get hit on the rocks or something. That's an injury. Getting hit by a boat, that's an injury. I guess those would be the most common, or maybe Nemo biting your head, I don't know. And then but sickness is just ear problems. When people don't equalize correct and they keep diving, they want to impress their buddies, or they're too shy to stop and they keep going. But that's not even that common, because if you have it's pretty painful and you'll know it, and you probably won't keep going. So the only other one is decompression sickness.
Yeah, and as my question, you already answered on it, but not directly. If you meet a shark, what you should do?
Nothing. I mean, what are you gonna do? Sharks are not aggressive. They're not. I always roll my eyes when I'm on liveaboard and somebody's like, "Don't worry, guys, I got the knife," and they got a big knife strapped to their leg. That's just macho, pseudo tough guy talk, and he's the scared one. Never attack a shark. There's nothing you need to do. Divers almost never get attacked by sharks unless they're provoking a big tiger or a great white or something. But even then, I see them all the time swimming with people. It's usually people swimming or floating or surfing on the surface, and it's like misidentification, because seals are their main food and they're floating. And so I actually have a little trepidation in certain shark areas floating on the surface. I don't want to do it, but you can't see what's under there. But when you're diving face to face, you see sharks, it's awesome. There's nothing scary about it. I've been great white, I've been cage diving, I've been out of the cage with great whites, I've been in Australia, South Africa, I've been on bull shark and tiger shark dives in Mexico, Belize, all over the world. It's not scary. It's not something you ought to. Your main goal when you're learning is to keep calm no matter what.
Do I understand you're correct that it's safer to be underwater than on a surface?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a diver being attacked by a shark? I haven't. You hear about surfers. Have you ever heard of a diver being attacked by a blue ring octopus? No, never. And that's the most poisonous animal on the planet. We have those here. We have sea kraits and sea snakes that are the most dangerous in the world. You've never ever hear in the news of a diver being killed by one, ever. It's always a fisherman trying to get him out of the fishing net, playing with the snake or the octopus. There's never.
So they,
you guys see my
they not
channel. I
aggressive,
film
yeah?
these things up close and personal every single day. Diving is not dangerous.
Okay. If you have a headache, can you dive with it?
I mean,
before.
technically you could,
Yeah.
but you need to know why you have a headache. If you have a bad cold or something, like I said, you need to equalize and all that.
Yeah.
Don't dive. But I wouldn't dive if you're sick or you have a headache, because if you get out of the water and you have a headache, it might be a symptom of decompression or something you need to sort out, or you need to get decompression. So it's not as dangerous as you think, but it's
Okay.
watch out.
Is it safe to hold your breath underwater?
No, that's actually the number one rule, is not to hold your breath ever underwater.
Okay.
Breathe like you're breathing now. When I want to conserve air, I try to imagine sleeping. So if you imagine when you're almost asleep at your lowest relaxation point, how you breathe. So it's just like
Slowly and not so
like
deep,
that.
yeah.
It's not like running.
Yeah.
It's not like hiking up a mountain. It's not like when you're excited or scared. It's like when you're about to fall asleep. And even then, if you're just ascending, coming up, you want to release air out of your lungs so it doesn't expand when the
Okay.
pressure decreases.
Okay. Is it safe to fly after diving?
Oh no, that's the other thing. So when you go do a bunch of dives, or even just one, and your body is full of nitrogen, you need that decompression time. And right here is ambient atmosphere, basically the pressure of the world that we're used to. So if you go hiking to a higher elevation, there's a lot less it's lower pressure, right?
Yeah, right.
You can feel it on your ears, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't want that. You want it right here. You want to decompress here at sea level, or wherever you were diving in the first place. And so you off gas. We call it off gassing. It's kind of like when you shake up a bottle of Coke.
Yeah.
You let off the cap, it's going to explode. No, you want to let it off really, really slow and let off that gas gradually. That's your body. Your body's that Coke bottle. You don't want to go on an airplane or a helicopter with pressurized cabin or high altitude where it's really low pressure, or go hiking or drive up the mountain where it's lower pressure. You got to stay at sea level, and at least 12 hours, depending on how many
12
dives you did.
Okay, it was my next question.
You could dive. You could fly right before a flight.
Okay, yeah.
It don't matter.
I have some funny question, but I have it. Can you pee while scuba diving?
Yeah, it's anybody that tells you, any scuba diver that tells you that they don't pee, they're either lying or they're just lying. Everybody pees in their wetsuit.
Okay.
You better wash it out though after you get out of the water.
What will happen if you throw up?
Oh, throw up.
Throw up, yeah.
No,
throw up.
that's part of the training, man. No matter what, you stay calm. So you don't. If you're about to throw up, you can't go to the surface and do it. But you need to hold in your regulator and make sure you don't drop it, because when you throw up, you go. You take a big breath and then throw up. That's your body natural how you do it.
Yeah.
So if you do that, you're gonna suck in a whole bunch of water and drown really fast. So you need to hold it in your regulator and throw up like normal, and it comes out like your bubbles would come out. It comes out, and hey, I've been hungover, and it happens to everybody. Or seasick. I've been super seasick on a boat and then jumped in the water, and then had to throw up. It's normal.
Can you dive after drinking alcohol?
No, I would go a good at least 6 or 12 hours after you, don't even be hungover, because
Okay.
the nitrogen and everything in your body that I talked about. Well, you can exacerbate all this deco sickness if you're already under the influence, because when you're breathing compressed air and your body's filling with nitrogen, that's basically a narcotic already. So part of the training, especially, it's not going to be that much for beginning course, but like dive master or the deeper ones, you're basically training yourself how to dive in narcosis, we call it, under the influence, basically how to function when your brain is all foggy and oh wow, there's a rat. Wait, I'm underwater. Why is there a rat? There's no rat. Like you're hallucinating almost.
Wow.
Every level of, especially tech diving, they're down there for hours. So you don't want to already be under the influence. People got really sick doing that, like die.
Okay, can smokers scuba dive?
Yeah, of course. But just like walking or hiking, they're gonna have, they don't breathe as smoothly as regular people that don't smoke. So they'll just use their tank a lot faster. I know people that go through a whole tank in 30 minutes and everybody's angry because they still have half a tank or more.
Oh,
so smokers
big difference,
can do, yeah, smokers. Well, that's you know what? That's not even all smokers. My friend, my dive buddy that I dive with every day, she smokes like a chimney, and she uses air less than I do. So the better shape you're in, the less air you use. Just like walking, running, everything.
Okay, and my last question about what is your favorite underwater species?
That's so.
Yeah, what you looking for?
I know I published a book on nudibranch, and I know I film those all the time. I know I always say my favorite is flamboyant cuttlefish, and I showed you that footage.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of my, but I still have to say there's nothing like an experience with manta rays. Like in Komodo, I have a manta ray on my foot, a tattoo. In Komodo National Park in Indonesia once, that was my first time with manta rays, and we're just sitting there. They said, stay here, kneel on the bottom and get ready with your camera because they're coming. And I was like, oh, this is boring, nothing to see. And all of a sudden 11 manta rays come in the size of this room. They're
so huge.
They're about 5 meters across.
Okay.
And they're just like birds, but they're huge.
Yeah.
They could wrap me up twice. They wouldn't fit in that pool. That's how big they are. So, and there's 11 of them, and they're just coming up to me and then dancing, It's really hard to explain. I can show you some videos, but they just dance in front of you. That's like a cleaning station where the small fish come and clean them, and they're just so huge, so harmless, everything, and they're just like dancing and swimming and doing somersaults or playing with your bubbles, or it's insane. And the other one is whale sharks. They're not as friendly, but they're so huge and amazing. So I love the small stuff and the huge stuff.
Okay.
You know what? I got a challenge for you. You've never been diving, right?
Nope.
Obviously. You've never, but you like swimming.
Yeah, I like swimming.
The ocean's okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to get you certified. That's my challenge to you. On Monday, I'm gonna bring you with my instructors, and you're gonna do the entire course. I'm not gonna make it easy on you. I got the gear, I got everything. I'm gonna give you SDI certification, open water.
Cool.
And that's your challenge, is to get through it. And you gotta tell your subscribers, honestly, good or bad, what you feel about the course, and then once you're certified, about the ocean, the like how different it is from swimming on the surface to being face to face.
Yeah, it's really cool. Thank you. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, I will do.
That's your challenge, buddy.
Yeah.
One of these upcoming videos, you guys are gonna see his course.
Yeah, first diving experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never tried it.
I love seeing reaction to new people. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay, cool.
It's not an easy course, but huge benefits.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Check out Justin's channel about scuba diving.
Come see me at Backy Dive Resort in Darwin.
Yeah.
And him. He's going to be, once you get certified, that's why I want to challenge my friend, because once you're certified, you're coming with me all the time. Okay. We're going to have fun.
Let's see. Thank you for watching. Bye.